The global trade landscape was shaken as the United States under then-President Donald Trump imposed a hefty 27% tariff on goods imported from India. This decision sent shockwaves through the Indian economy and sparked concerns about a potential trade war between the two economic giants. The tariff, a cornerstone of Trump's America First policy, aimed to reduce the burgeoning trade deficit with India, which had reached an estimated $40 billion. This move marked a significant escalation in trade tensions and cast a long shadow over the future of US-India economic relations. The immediate impact of the tariff was felt across various sectors of the Indian economy. Industries heavily reliant on exports to the US, such as textiles, pharmaceuticals, and IT services, braced for a significant hit. The tariff was seen as a blow to India's burgeoning economy, which had been experiencing steady growth in recent years. This protectionist measure signaled a shift in the global trade dynamics, with potential ramifications for other nations heavily reliant on trade with the United States. The tariff imposition immediately raised questions about its long-term implications for the global trading system. Would this mark the beginning of a wave of protectionist measures adopted by other nations? The move highlighted the growing trend of economic nationalism and the potential for increased trade barriers in the years to come. The world watched closely, uncertain of the ripple effects this decision would have on the interconnected global economy. The 27% tariff was a direct result of President Trump's America First economic policy, which prioritized protecting American jobs and reducing the trade deficit. Trump argued that the US was losing out in its trade relationship with India, and that the tariffs were necessary to level the playing field. The Trump administration believed that this measure would incentivize American companies to bring manufacturing back to the US, boosting domestic job creation. The decision to impose tariffs on Indian goods was also driven by a belief within the Trump administration that India had unfair trade practices that disadvantaged American businesses. These practices included high tariffs on certain US goods entering the Indian market, creating an uneven playing field for American companies. The 27% tariff was, therefore, seen as a way to pressure India into reducing its own tariffs and opening up its market to more American goods and services. Beyond the economic rationale, the tariff decision also reflected a broader geopolitical strategy employed by the Trump administration. By taking a tough stance on trade with India, the US aimed to gain leverage in other areas of bilateral relations, such as security cooperation and regional influence. This approach aimed to secure more favorable terms for the US in its dealings with India, reflecting a more transactional approach to international relations. However, the tariff decision also revealed a disconnect between the Trump administration's rhetoric and the realities of global trade. Imposing tariffs often leads to retaliatory measures, potentially harming businesses and consumers on both sides. Critics argued that the tariffs would ultimately harm American consumers, who would face higher prices for goods imported from India. This move underscored the complex and interconnected nature of the global economy, where unilateral actions can have far-reaching and often unforeseen consequences. The impact of the 27% tariff on the Indian economy was significant, particularly for sectors heavily reliant on exports to the US. The Indian textile and apparel industry, a major employer and contributor to the country's export earnings, was hit particularly hard. With billions of dollars worth of exports facing increased costs due to the tariffs, the industry faced an uphill battle to maintain its competitiveness in the US market. The Indian pharmaceutical industry, a global leader in generic drug manufacturing, also faced uncertainty. While initially exempt from the tariffs, the industry remained vulnerable due to its significant reliance on the US market. India supplies approximately 40% of generic drugs to the US, making it a crucial player in the American healthcare system. Any disruption to this supply chain could have significant consequences for both countries. The Indian IT and tech services sector, a major driver of India's economic growth and a significant employer of skilled labor, was also impacted. US companies rely heavily on Indian IT professionals and services, and the tariffs threaten to disrupt this well-established ecosystem. The increased costs associated with the tariffs could potentially lead to job losses in India and disrupt the operations of American companies reliant on Indian IT services. In the intricate game of global trade, every move counts. Countries strategize, negotiate, and sometimes clash, all in the pursuit of economic advantage. The stakes are high, and the players are many. From tariffs to trade agreements, each decision can ripple across the world, impacting industries and economies in profound ways. It's a complex dance where alliances are formed and rivalries are kindled, all under the watchful eyes of the global community. Understanding this chessboard is crucial for anyone looking to grasp the nuances of international trade and its far-reaching consequences. Now let's consider various scenarios and their implications. What could happen if current trends continue, and how might different policies shape the future? These are crucial questions that need thoughtful examination. The situation has also acted as a catalyst for self-reliance. It's prompting nations to rethink their dependencies and to build more robust, self-sufficient systems. This shift could, in fact, redefine global dynamics. For India, this is an opportunity to build a more resilient economy. By focusing on innovation, infrastructure, and inclusive growth, India can turn challenges into stepping stones for a brighter future. We might be witnessing the dawn of a new world order in trade. As countries adapt to new realities, traditional trade relationships could be reshaped, leading to a more diversified and balanced global trade landscape.